It's a pretty popular scene, this one. Liach, just looking incredible in the snow at the moment, and we're getting a bit of breaking light, so if we get something that lights up this foreground, we might have ourselves in for an image here. I'm not sure that's going to happen. Might be a little bit late. Sun's just about to go behind Skirdu, I think. However, what I'm here really to test is some of these KNF filters. So this is the polarizer, and they are magnetic filters, so they just snap right onto the front of the lens like that. And let's adjust the exposure there. And adjust our filtration. There we go. Polarized, check histogram, clipping a bit. There we go. They come in this little handy travel pouch, which opens up, and you've got slots for all of your filters there. They hook into your lens with one of these. This is a magnetic adapter ring. So you can see that's hollow, and that basically just threads into your lens threads, goes onto your lens threads, and then the filter's attached to those. So you will need one of those for each of your lenses. I think that makes the most sense of how to use them. And yeah, I mean, super, super compact and lightweight. I'll show you a comparison with what I was using before. It's one of the big appeals to me, is just how small and lightweight these are. I think I might actually throw on a 10 stop here as well. The kit that I got has a 10 stop, a circular polarizer, and a UV filter. I don't really use a UV filter, but these other two are probably potentially my two most used lenses. So with that 10 stop, we're now getting towards a 15-second exposure. So let's give that a go, see how that looks. And yeah, there's not really much in the way of reflections at the moment, so just smoothing that water surface out, or the surface of the water, I think is going to lend to a really nice ethereal image. There's also a cloud that's sort of pulling off of the summit, so if we get a long enough exposure, it might almost look a little bit like billowing smoke, which could be quite cool. Let's see, we can probably push that to 20 seconds. Check focus, really nice and sharp. So that's one of the things I will be testing throughout this review, is image quality, and that comes in terms of sharpness, but it also counts in terms of color accuracy. From what I can see on the back of the screen though, yeah, it just looks great, really neutral. Usually a circular polarizer, you'll see a little bit of a yellow tint, and if I just flick between the images with and without, maybe there's a slightest hint of yellow, but that's pretty normal for using a circular polarizer. Right, I'm just going to wait for a bit of light now. You can see there's some breaking here to the right, so if that hits Liach in a few moments, then maybe we'll pull something off here. So remember to stick around until the end of the video, because there is going to be a giveaway, and Kentfaith have sent me this extra kit, so there'll be details at the end of the video with how to enter. I think it's going to be over on Instagram, so do stick around till the end of the video to see all the details for that, if you want to get your hands on a pair of these filters. So I thought I'd just show you quickly the difference between what I was using, which is a circular polarizer, 6-stop, 10-stop, the attachment ring and the filter holder, versus the new kit. So that's all it is. And for comparison's sake, this is a 100mm filter inside of its case, and that's the case for the circular magnetic filters from KNF. So it's roughly the same dimension as one of these 100mm square filters, but it's significantly lighter and smaller, more compact, I should say. So all held within one little compartment, and there's a D-ring there, and so you can, if you've got a little hook on the bottom of your tripod, let's see, I don't actually have one on here, but theoretically you could maybe use a carabiner or something just to attach it there. So it's really easy and quick to access. So one of the things that people are bound to ask about, and one of the things that I was really worried about, was vignetting, especially when stacking two filters at the same time. and there is some vignetting at 24mm, at least on this Canon 24-105 f4. It's the RF mount. Your mileage may vary with different lenses at different focal lengths, so either reach out to Kentfaith and see if they maybe have some experience with that particular lens combo and filter thread size. Otherwise, what I'm actually going to be doing is stepping up to the next size up, which would be 82mm. And what you do there is you get an adapter ring or a step-up ring, and that basically changes from a 77mm to an 82, so you can put those larger sizes onto your lenses. That should get rid of the vignetting problem at 24mm, but you know, if that's not really an issue for you, if you don't think that you're going to be stacking filters very often at your widest focal length, then yeah, maybe you just get the same filter thread size as your lens. So what I'll do is I'll take a couple frames at 24mm, and then just when vignetting goes away, and you can see the difference in the focal length range, and that way you can see what you might be losing if you do want to get the smaller thread size. But yeah, some people it's a big problem, some people it's not. To me it's fairly important, so that's why I'm going to step up to the 82. But for this review, just doing the 77 because that's what I had to hand. Anyway, the light, I think, is starting to get kind of nice actually, so I'm going to redial in this composition, something like that, and continue shooting away. Nice, nice subtle glow. We're getting a bit of reflected light coming in from these clouds, so that's helping lift the foreground a bit and really just balance out the tonal range in this scene. So I'll show you the image that I get from this location just now, and do let me know what you think of it in the comments down below. But otherwise, this is sort of one of my first outings with these filters, so I'm going to continue using them over the next few days, and then I'm also going out to the Isle of Harris, so I'll use them extensively out there for about a week, and at the end of the trip I'll wrap my thoughts up with a few pros and cons, and yeah, whether I think that these are a worthwhile investment in your landscape photography. So on the Isle of Harris, and come down here to test some of the KNF filters. Going to be looking at the circular polarizer today, I think. It's a bit windy for the 10 stop, but we'll see what we can do. Well, good morning everybody. It is blowing an absolute gale. We've got Storm Jocelyn coming in, and that's bringing in loads of great atmosphere and rain. Today, hopefully, we'll get a bit of rain and sunlight at the same time. But anyway, I do apologize about the audio. It's super windy. I'm trying my best to shield the mic from the wind. Circular polarizer is going to be perfect for this shot because there's some glare on the surface of the water. So I chucked on the 10 stop there, and I'm just letting it run. It's about a 1 minute and a half exposure. And see, I doubt that's going to be sharp, and there's water all over the lens, so I'm going to have to put this camera away for a minute while the squall comes through. But yeah, a bit of fun down at the beach, really. Some beautiful pastel colors in the sky, just being a bit of a human shield for the camera at the moment. Actually, I'm trying the 10 stop out even though it's so windy, just because, yeah, there's too much disturbance in the surface of the water with these winds. You really need that longer exposure to smooth it out and just get rid of some of the distractions. Polarizer's working well, cutting through some of the glare. Yeah, very happy so far with these, and I do like the magnetic functionality, but I'll wrap all that up back in the studio with some of my concluding thoughts a bit later in the video. Just a joy to be out on Harris again, isn't it? Come over to these really cool sand rock formations. I think they're in the process of turning into rock, and it's a great spot again for using these filters because you can really add contrast by using that polarizer to darken the water and set it against these quite bright white, slightly yellow rock formations. And we're getting a nice bit of reflected light off of some clouds that are just catching the sunrise. So that's bouncing all of this nice warm light in, getting a great color contrast here between some of the blue greens of the water and those really nice warm yellow tones in the sand. It's a nice big open band of blue sky coming. Fingers crossed for a bit more good light today. Yeah. Trying out a few different compositions, and hopefully some of these are sharp, doing 30 seconds f9 ISO 100 with the 10 stop and the polarizer. Shielding the camera again. Probably have to take the 10 stop off in a bit just to make sure I get a few sharp images. I am checking the sharpness on the back of the screen though. Always good to do that in the field, punch into 100%, check sharpness. Make sure you haven't gone home with nothing. Yeah. Not sharp. Let's try that again. Really come in close. Block the tripod with my body. Getting a nice sort of split in the sky now, where the right half is really dark and moody and the left is nice and bright. It's an interesting sort of gradient across the image. Right, so I think that's going to be it from the field testing portion of this video. I've had a really good time using these filters, and from my eye, just on the back of the camera, some initial reviews, generally very positive, but I'll kick it back to me in the future in the studio, wrap things up, go through a few pros, cons, maybe some things that I'd like to see in a Gen 2 filter, and we can look at a few of the results, some of the images, some of the comparisons of the polarizer, no polarizer, etc. Kentfaith did provide me with these filters for this review, but of course they agreed to my terms and conditions and have had no say whatsoever in the production of this video. All the thoughts in this video are my own, and yeah, I value providing my audience with honest feedback and an honest review. So what are my final thoughts here? Some of my conclusions on the KNF magnetic X Nano filter system. Well, I think they are a great value option. They come in quite a lot cheaper than most of the other magnetic filter systems that you'll find out there, but they still pack the punch in terms of image quality. I found the filters to be really color neutral, so the color accuracy is great. The polarizer just has that little hint of warm, but that's pretty normal for a polarizer. The 10-stop, in my experience, was neutral, so that's great. Sharpness and image quality, I found that there was basically no degradation of the image. It's getting really nice, sharp results when using these filters. The ease of use and the magnetic system, including the filter caps, I think is really great. It really does speed up the usage in the field and makes things so much easier. You really want to use your filters as opposed to having to scramble to get a screw-on filter or set up a whole square system filter. So in that regard, I think it's definitely a home run. That's a big win in my book. So, and because they are sized for your lenses, they do come in considerably lighter and more compact than, say, a 100mm square system would do. So that's another big win for me because I like to go hiking and every gram matters in my bag. So those are some of the pros, and I would say that they definitely outweigh the cons. And maybe there's not so much cons as I would say suggestions for, say, a Gen 2 filter. If they were gonna, KNF were gonna make some tweaks, and this is what I would like to see. The first is on that lens cap. I would love for there to be some sort of notch or something, just where you can get your finger around it so that it's a bit easier to pull that filter cap off. You do sort of learn exactly where to grip and how hard you need to pull, sort of a bit of muscle memory. But I think just having a little notch there would definitely improve things. The other area of improvement that I would like to see, which is the case on a lot of other filters nowadays, is color coding. So for instance, if I just show you in there, they're all black. So unless you know exactly the order in which you've placed your filters, you're going to be standing there pulling them out thinking, oh, that's the 10-stop. Oh, no, I need the 3-stop. So having color coding or some sort of system in which you can just visually see which filter is which, I think would be a huge improvement. That being said, I'm perfectly happy with just always placing the filters in the same order. So for me, I've got circular polarizer and then 3, 6, and 10. So that sort of works for me. I have a system, but I think color coding would be a great addition to these filters. The only other thing that I noted was there was a little bit of tolerance issues when putting those filters onto the front. What I mean by that is there's just a little bit, maybe a millimeter of movement when you put that filter on. So I think if that tolerance can be tightened up a bit, and the sort of snap of those magnets going onto the front and then them sitting really snugly within the magnetic adapter, I think that would be great to see. But the magnets themselves were really strong. I had zero issues with filters falling off or anything like that. Except I did actually, the UV filter that I got was maybe a little bit weak on the magnet side, but I have let KNF know that, and they've said that they're going to inform their product team and everything to keep an eye out for it. So the good thing is that this company really is trying to listen to people that are involved with, providing them with reviews. And in that regard, I would say that, yeah, it's a plus for customer service as well. So the only other suggestion is I would love to see some sort of information from the Kentfaith website about potentially needing to step up a size if you're worried about getting vignetting when stacking lenses. So for instance, I had some vignetting when I was stacking lenses at 24mm, but as soon as I went to the 82mm, the step up in filter size for my lens, the vignetting went away. So my suggestion for the people out there looking to purchase some of these is definitely consider buying one filter size up from what your lens thread size is. So there we go, my product review of the Kentfaith KNF X Nano magnetic filter system. There's going to be product links down below if you're interested in taking a look or purchasing for yourselves. They are affiliate links, so I do get a small kickback, but of course it doesn't cost any extra for you. There's also a 10% discount code that you can use, so definitely make sure to get your discount. So as promised, the giveaway details for those of you who stuck around to the end of the video, thank you very much, and head over to my Instagram or Kentfaith's Instagram. There's going to be a post in the coming week or so with all the details of how to enter, etc. And the prize is going to be one of the 77mm kits that comes with the 10-stop, the circular polarizer, and the UV in one of their travel bags, as well as a filter cap. So head over to Instagram, go and take a look at all the details over there on how to enter, and of course, good luck. With all that being said, I would love to hear from you. If you've used these filters, what's been your experience? Leave a comment down below, and I'd love to have a chat. Otherwise, that's going to be it for this episode. Hope you've enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.